on 0861 987 000.
Indeed, let's go back to that dial. Mathole, I'm going to take one more and give you an opportunity to respond and then go back to those lines. Nare, good morning, bro.
Morning, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
All, I just want to ask, what do they call the people with that belief? You call them anarchists or what?
It's anarchism. That ideology is
Okay.
anarchism.
I think I'm one of them. Trust me, and I'm proud of that. Trust me, I'm proud of that.
You don't like the state?
No, it's not the state as such. I don't believe that. I believe that human beings were programmed by other human beings. There are human beings who think that they are superior than others. And then when they're in government there, they come up with these stupid laws, that suit them. We understand. So myself, the whole idea of people being controlled by the state and this whole thing of constitution, myself, I think that's dumb. I'll tell you why. I think a human being, you got your own conscience. A human being must be guided by their own conscience. You don't need the state to guide you. You need your own conscience. And as well, when you look at African people used to live in peace with each other. One nation was living near to another nation. For example, we got Basotho, we had the Nguni people. They lived alongside each other, in peace. We understand. We never had a problem. Now we got this constitution that came from Europe.
But Nare, were there no rules? Were there no rules in those societies?
No, they never had rules like all these.
That you can't, your head can't, graze here. Your head can't. You can't do this. You can't. There have always been rules in society.
No, but the people they will talk about it. It wasn't like someone must take a decision for others. So the whole thing, you got these people, psychologists.
Yeah.
Most of our laws as well, they are influenced by psychologists. Certain psychologists, they believe that to solve our social ills, we have to use psychology.
Okay.
Yes,
Nare, let me give Mathole a chance to respond. Thank you, Nare, joining us there on 0861 987 000. That's where you can join us. Mathole, you heard from Mulimo Spiwe and now Nare. Just respond to some of the sentiments raised.
Yes, narrowly, our people, they were living, they were telling you, why you understand? They were living with conscience. They were too conscious. There were not laws that not there is a jail when you kill someone that you are going to jail. There were no such things. Those things they were introduced. Even in Europe, they were introduced by this ruling elites that they are ruling us. They kill a lot of people in Europe. A lot of people, Europeans, they lost their lives when they enforced those rules. After they enforced those rules, they formed states there in the Netherlands. After that, they go across the world. They come even here forming states. State is just an instrument of those ones to look after. The state here is here in South Africa, in South African context. State is looking for the interest of the Queen because the Queen owns South Africa. That one he can shy away from. And coming to the question that man was speaking about qualification and everything, what I said qualification is just to create a class where people they must accept to be poor because I never went to school. You understand? You accept to be abused laborly, so because when you don't have any qualification, and it's nothing else but to create a class. I never said skill. People they have certain skills in certain different things. You can get someone who from school has qualification but know nothing. That doesn't know nothing.
Now let's deal with this idea around competition. That competition is inherent in human beings, and wait. Competition is inherent in human beings, and that competition leads to power struggles. And how do you harmonize those power struggles?
Let me tell you something. It's not true that the competition is the law of the jungle. Cooperative is the law of human beings. We cooperate.
So you are more of a Lockean then in that conceptualization of a state of nature, because Locke believes that inherently human beings are actually peaceful, loving, and cooperative people, whereas Hobbes on the other side believes that in fact they are men by nature is selfish. That's what he says.
Not true. Anyone who's selfish has been taught. I'm telling you, the previous caller just called, he said something about the way we Africans they used to live. If you don't have a cow, you go next door, but look after this cow. This is your cow. So they never have such things of oppressing. That's why even the colonizers, when they come to Africa first time, they realize, oh no, these people live in harmony with each other. There was no poverty was introduced. Street kids, they were not street kids because people, they were living in harmony. They were not competition. They were living neighbors. And let me tell you, someone asked who will be looking after people and everything. In a society where people live together, there will be no crime because immediately you come as an invader, as an everything, you'll be identified and people will deal with you. But now, in this society that we're living in, people, they don't even know their neighbor because they just wake up and go to work and get in their walls. They don't know even the same name. If you ask, don't know, I'm looking for Machangu, I'm looking for Kumal. They don't know those people because they think they can live on their own because they have certain resources.
Okay.
So, and those resources are nothing else because you need people. Anything that we see here, state that is just administrating our life, but everything is produced by us. We go to work. The money that we employ those politicians that are in parliament, and after employing them, we expect them to create jobs for us. While we created jobs for them, many of them, those companies, they never work. They were just in exile. They never do anything.
Msholozi, hold your dial. Let's go back to these lines. These lines are so buzzing, bro, because I think you are taking us to a different place of political thought this morning. Mutomani, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Lukona, how are you?
I'm well. How are you this morning?
All right. Mathole, how's it, brother? Mathole.
I'm listening. Hello.
Yeah, no, this is anarchy at its best, eh?
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Very interesting, however. I want to find out from him, does he have the capacity and the system to administrate this? And has this idea been implemented anywhere in the world, or we will be the first people to practice this? Will we have any electoral system on who will report to who, maybe? I'll listen on the radio.
You listen on Power 98.7. Thank you so much, Mutomani, this morning. Funani, East London, good morning.
Morning, Masbule Letata. Let me start by picking on the last caller when he asked whether this has ever been implemented anywhere. The answer is no. I understand where your guest is coming from with the party that they want to form. You see, political ideologies, they normally emerge out of frustration. When you are frustrated by an existing one, the existing one is frustrating everyone. The ANC government and whatever they've done is frustrating anyone. Now people think out of the box until they escape from the box and get nowhere. This system will never work. It never worked. Here are things that you will find as arguments, that laws are a problem to society, and what your guest is arguing is that we never had laws. What he's forgetting is, he says, we've always had harmony in society where people cooperate.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you want harmony, whether you have written or unwritten laws, there has to be some coordination. When you talk coordination, you talk of levels where this person coordinates at that level, this one at this level. Whether there's a written or an unwritten contract, but harmony goes with coordination. The second argument that you find, when there are no laws, people going to jail. In Africa, there's never been jails. Primitive societies never had jails, but primitive societies had coordination. When you break a law, you are taken to some, in inverted commas, kangaroo court, where people, listen to what is argued, where the people agree that you've wronged us as this group of people. So this must happen. How does that happen? There has to be someone who coordinates that this is wrong, this is right.
Funani, let's leave it there to give other people a chance, but thank you so much for raising those points. Now we are contending with the foundations of the state. What is the state? Do we need it? Kenneth, you seem to give us a differentiation. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Lukon. How are you?
I'm well. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I wanted Mr. Mathole just to maybe give us that explanation, because I think he's confusing the state with the government. Yeah, government is part of the state. So the state will always remain. Even if there is no government, the state, the people, the institution, and everything that is in the country, it's the state. So his argument must be to say the manner in which we want to govern the state.
Yeah.
So she should not say the state must be removed. If you remove it, what should remain now?
Well, Kenneth, no, I hear your point, and I hear your point, and we are going to get Mathole to respond, because in their manifesto they actually deal with this concept of a state. I mean, with the basic tenets that you get taught in political science of a state. Having a territory, a population being defined, and so on. So he'll probably definitely talk to that, so that he clarifies whether there is a conflation between state and government in his articulation.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, Kenneth, thank you very much. Stay in on 0861 987 000. Mathole, I'm going to give you a chance to respond, but let me quickly go to James so that I take him out of his weight. James, good morning.
Morning, how are you, Lukona?
Well, how are you this morning?
Fine. No, to the extent that Mathole organized himself and other people as a party, I think that is a realization that people cannot organize themselves. So that brought us on Leninism, to understand the Vanguard Party. So to the extent that he says that people can do as they will, they must not be controlled, and etc., that is anarchism, to understand. So my indictment is that it won't work, But as well, the previous caller before this one said, I think it is born out of frustration because of the way the ANC has really discredited the state as we would love to have it. And then in your opening line, somebody was talking about the rate with which this government is collecting taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, they go to the extent of saying that if you are watching Netflix on your smartphone, it is television. So upset. And then they also argue that, because they are competing now.
Tax you for that.
They tax you for that. And they also say that, if you want the courier companies to courier something that is above 1 kg, it is exclusively there. So we are bordering on dictatorship, especially on tax collection.
Yeah.
But they don't accompany that, with good governance. But I sympathize with the guy. But it's really a fruitless exercise.
Okay, James, I hear you. I mean, Mathole, some say we are frustrated with the ANC, but I also know that there are ideological purists as well in society. So I don't want to label you with that brush, but perhaps do take us through in terms of what birthed this idea.
No, I just want to respond quick to that one. Was asking a nice question on where this is happening. It's even happening here in South Africa. I'll start here in South Africa, even overseas. Here in South Africa, we have Ubuntu project. Ubuntu project here in Soweto, here in the Roodepoort. A group of people, they just group themselves, normal people, average people, South African states in township and everything, and organize themselves to a point where they bought a land worth 10 million for themselves. So now they are building houses there. The only frustration that they are facing is the government. Is the government that now is giving them problems. They've been going up and down on government, because there is in South Africa they must supply you with electricity. Government must supply you with everything. They done on their own streets, everything how they think it must look like. So they organize themselves. Hundreds of them, thousands of them. They bought a land. We are here in South Africa where people they just land grabbing and everything. So those people, they just organize themselves. Normal people, police, nurses, teachers and everything, raise the money of 10 million and buy the land. Yeah, Ubuntu project. They organize everything, plans everything. The only challenge that they have is these red tapes called the government procedures and everything. They are holding them back. But if those people, they just, so it's happening here in South Africa. Again, this one who called from Cape who said this thing is not happening anywhere. It's just very limited. There is a state called Rojava in between Turkey and Syria.
Yeah.
People they live in a stateless society. People they live in harmony with each other. He must make more research before he come here in radio and speak, because he know little. It's happening in Rojava. It's happening in Brazil. In Brazil there is a metro, a municipal where people they live like that. They live in direct democracy where everyone participates. Everyone participate and not participate in terms of voting, in terms of legislature, in terms of what you want to see in that municipal. And it's having a number of 24 million people living there. So it's happening. And if you look at what's happening in Netherlands, the way that the Netherlands is going, that's why even in Netherlands now prisons are empty because people they are moving through to a certain way of thinking. So we can't live, they say, no, this is impossible. The problem, and the people, they don't know, the birth of state is not even 500 years old in the world. So you are telling me that before the state, the people, they were not living. Yes, there were monarchies, people, they were living certain monarchy and everything.
In fact, I'm glad you've gone there because I've got Kimurapedi on Twitter saying that you want to take us back to the times where tribes would fight each other in the name of domination. Your thinking is off base. This is bigger than he thinks it is, and I think it gels with Raizani, who says, no man, some of contributors are revisiting and clarifying history. How did we end up with Soshangane in Mozam, Zilikazi in Zim? And I think that is to say conflict and contestation of power has been there even in those quote-unquote stateless societies.
You can't call a monarchy a stateless society. People who were living under the certain monarchy, they were not the monarchy itself. It was a sort of a state there. So, but what I'm saying, people in Rojava, you can go to Rojava. It's between Syria and Turkey, and look how people live there. There's no a state, there's no a leader. People, they are living peacefully. So even under pressure, where there is ISIS here in Syria, there are rebels and everything. But the people, they protect themselves. There's no soldiers there. But even today, the state of the people of the stateless Rojava is existing. So there are people who are living on their own, and the concept of people can live alone is the concept of the oppressor, who give you an idea that you need me, you understand? So I will just want to tell you something. Any business that is big is advertised by government. There is no any entrepreneur who can be creative without the help of the government. Look now, the vaccine companies. The vaccine company, they don't even market. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, they don't even advertise. Government advertise for them. Government force people to take the product of those people. After that, those are those we call the elite. We call the ruling class. Government market for you. You come with a concept, you bribe a government minister or a president to make it a legislature for your product to be sold in that country. It's what's happening in the world. Someone just see a car, no, we need a safety belt here. If you drive a car without a safety belt, that is illegal. So any entrepreneur, any businessman who is rich, is wealthy in the help of government. So if we remove the state and everything, the competition, it will be fair. Because now, if you don't have connection, that's why even if you come with anything, it's not going to see the light of the day because you didn't pay bribe to certain people. So
let's pause it there. I want to take a quick break. I'll come back. I still have some other people on the line, and let's leave it there. I'm sure Banyana will also try and see if we can't have this conversation extend there with you, Mathole. Let's take that ad break, Peter.
When you have access, you can take your business from Paris to Paris, from hand-to-hand deliveries to a fleet of trucks, from staff of one to factories across the continent. You see, it's not opportunity that makes dreams worth dreaming. It's the access, because access makes it possible. Access Bank, more than banking. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Part thriller, part love story, and always action-packed. NetBank IMC 2021 Marketing, the movie, premieres 29 July, starring 18 speakers, 4 global keynotes, and a must-see one-day virtual conference that delivers blockbuster insights. Book now at imcconference.coza, because marketing is business.
Power Talk with Lukhona Mnguni. Call Lukhona on 0861 987 000.
And tweet me at Lukhona Mnguni, hashtag Power Talk. I'm in conversation with Kemokoenawamathole Msholozi Mathole, and he's the convener and founder of Us the People. an anarcho-socialist organization for all intents and purposes. Please do join us on 0861 987 000, and I think we are going to keep Msholozi Mathole here with us until 11:30 this morning, just to make sure that all of you who want to be in conversation with him get an opportunity to do so, because our lines have just been buzzing, really, to tell the truth. Owen and Albertine, good morning.
Good morning, Lukona, and morning to your guest there. Lukona, I'm a bit conflicted here, I'm going to be honest with you, right? What is happening is, first and foremost, the bylaws. As I was listening along, I always tell people that the Bible became a bylaw. Because if we ask and question the Bible further, there's a lot of contradiction. You understand? So, if we remove the Bible and then we say, as humans, let's live harmony, so, right? People have been living. We used to look at skills. Now, like your guest said, competition was introduced. There was no competition. That's why we always quote things at the same time we don't practice them. When we say a kid is raised by a village. But nowadays, if my kids go to a private school, yours don't go to a private school. So my kid cannot be the one who started that fight. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people in nature were able to live in harmony, were able to assist each other. The only problem is there will always be a person who will initiate something so that it can benefit them. Let me give you an example as a point of departure. Nari made an example such as your psychologist. You sometimes call people there who come and say, the study shows this. But if you look at the data that they pull, it's from the suburban place. They interviewed 130 people who are staying in a suburban place, and then they're going to say South Africa is this. The middle class is this. They don't come down to people who are staying in the rural areas or the people in struggling middle class in the townships. So the question is right now, do we really, that's what I'm coming to conclusion, do we really need this state, because it's the very same one that is holding us ransom? He gave me an example right now. For you to get a bid something, you must get a tender. So you must bribe someone or know someone.
Okay.
As I live, an example, let's look at how we're fighting unemployment. Our presenters on TV and radio are busy reading unemployment rate, but they're working on radio and also on TV, but you have unemployed journalists.
Okay. Thank you, Owen and Albertine, there joining us. Let's go to another Owen, Brits. Good morning.
My brother.
How are you?
Look, we've always fought against imperialism, but my problem was we adopt the imperialistic way of running our country, but we fought against it. So I endorse each and every idea that is somehow creative and innovative as to how are we going to run our own affairs. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that he's saying, but I'm saying that's the way we should, that's one avenue that we should explore, that we have to give ourselves task to think beyond this imperialistic way of running our country.
Okay. Owen, short and sweet, straight to the point. Thank you very much. Esankiri and Mteteleli, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
for coming on the call. Look, all I'm doing is listening and learning from your guests to the studio. And also, your callers, but Uputnare and Sitole, they got knowledge a lot. So now for me, you see, the system that we have currently, we are so divided as black people, too much. So it will take us a long way to freedom to be united and going back to basics, to indaba yoba umuntu ngabantu. You understand that spirit of Ubuntu. But so far, I'm just listening to you guys as you are talking against the I'm just learning, but I'll take what I think it will work for me on my side.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Puti. It's an absolute pleasure that we get to, be on this platform and continue to learn from one another. It's absolutely amazing. I think, to be fair to you, Shaku and Clive, let me take you after news so that I'm not pressing you for time and you're able to join in on this conversation and expand as much as you want to expand in engaging with Kemokoenawamathole Msholozi, because it's really a fascinating conversation as us the people, political party, making us rethink some of the things that we take as for granted. We accept that the state is a sacrosanct, entity. We accept that there must be a representative democracy. But do we ever contend to say, at a conceptual level, is there another society we can imagine? And I think, Mathole, take note of what Makokwa is saying as well on Twitter, where he says, the theory of a negation of the negation could help your guest explain to us how this old system comes back in an advanced form to replace the current system, which seemingly has a consensus that it is fast approaching its sell-by date. The negation of the negation. It seems like we are in a philosophy class this morning here on Power Talk. Well, on that note, Mathole, you will respond after news, and I'll give other guests on 0861 987 000 an opportunity to weigh in on this conversation as we talk to you on this